This is James with Monotalk. It is, I think, 9:47 p.m. on March the 10th, I think. So they're at it again. They want to ban TikTok. And there's a lot more in that bill that people need to be concerned about because these assholes, it's... Your First Amendment, look, let me just say this. I get the kids part, I get the teenagers, I get all that stuff, but don't you monitor what your children use on their iPads, on their cell phones, on the computer, or on, Xbox, whatever they're able to use to get online? Aren't you able to do that? Are you being lazy? Because, when I was a kid, you could sneak in a couple of Playboy magazine and Hustler magazines every once in a while. But your mom wasn't going to search it. She's not searching your room for that shit. There's just, she's like, nah, I don't even want to go there. But the thing is it takes guidance. It takes an overwatch by, the people that are responsible for their children. I totally get that. That's, yeah. Yes, there are some exploitive things that are happening. That content can be etched out. It can be removed. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg just went through a lot of crap regarding Meta. And they just, the Republicans, the Demoncrats, and the Rhipiglicans, because that's who's in on this. They want to ban all this shit. They're going after social media. And it's just interesting because is it too easily accessible, or is it not banned or restricted enough? So that's the problem that they seem to be having, is they need more control over what is being sent out to the internet. From my perspective, which I think, hey Jordan, how you doing, buddy? No, that's not banned. I used it just a second ago, but I mean they want to. The Restrict Act that was brought in by Josh Hawley and a few Republicans, believe it or not, and I said, call him and demand he walk away from the Restrict Act, because if you read it, it's not about TikTok. If you've read the Restrict Act, you'll see that it's about control. Yeah, we just went through this censorship shit in 2020, 2021, 2022. I mean, for fuck's sakes. I mean, I'm seeing it over and over and over again. This is just getting out of fucking hand. Your kid's got to fucking, I didn't get my daughter a cell phone until she was 15 or 16 years old. Right? And then there were restrictions on her phone, and we checked it every once in a while to make sure she wasn't doing anything crazy. At any moment, we could go in, or we could have somebody else check her phone, which means that if she comes home, she's going to take off everything, history. They know how to do all that stuff, right? But randomly, just out of nowhere, hey, give me your phone for a second. I want to see what's on it. They're going to make a mistake, and they're going to be on something weird or crazy or wrong, or could be threatening to them. But this is just taking, it's the government being the parent. That's not their job. Their job is to protect us. I get that. I get that their job is to protect us. That's why we want the military out there to protect us from all the friends we've made all over the world. But in regards to social media, it's like saying, well, the printing press needs to go through us first. Right? The printing press in the 1800s, I think it was, needs to go through us. And this is just ridiculous. So what they're saying is, in order for you to get information or for you to get on any social media, they want to have full and total control and power over that. Right? And I think there are some things that probably should be looked at and investigated thoroughly. But I want the Supreme Court to make these decisions. Right? Which I'm still kind of weary about as well. How do I put this? TikTok right now, from what I can see it, I've got 2,700 people that pay attention to me. That's not a lot for TikTok. I'd say at least 75% of them are just, ads or somebody's selling Bitcoin or fucking some get-rich-quick scheme or something like that, which I understand. Right? Which I get it, and people make money off TikTok. And people are, sell their products on TikTok. People all over the world use TikTok for these reasons. And I'm trying to understand the advantage of banning social media completely. Because it really looks like it's going in that direction. And this couldn't be a better time to take out Trump, because there's a lot of Trump supporters that have meetings on TikTok. There's a lot of Democratic Biden supporters that have meetings on TikTok. There's a lot of Robert F. Kennedy clubs and groups that get on TikTok. There's all kinds of people. There's all kinds of stuff on there. And they have their algorithms and their AI and what they look for, et cetera, et cetera. And I've never seen anything. The only thing I think I've seen crazy was the girls that do this. They test the fucking. They scrub the mic with, they use these little, sounds. I guess it's to get, ADHD people or just, it's fucking weird. Or people will just go, oh, hi, thank you. Hi, thank you. Oh, thanks for the peach. Oh, just the fucking weird shit. It's just fucking stupid, weird shit on there most of the time. But there are some really interesting conversations in regards to, a group of MAGAs or a group of liberals or a group of libertarians or Green Party or whatever. But this is where people speak. And this is the problem that I seem to feel that they're sensing. It has nothing to do with protecting and worrying about your safety. It's more of their safety. That's what it's about. Yes, Esmer has a bunch of fans in my students. Yeah. The thing that bothers me the most is if you read the bill, the Restrict Act, and if you read these, they've been going after TikTok for a few years now. Let me see, right here, I think this is from, it doesn't freaking say, hang on. It doesn't say here, TikTok ban, what was that? Remember Parler got taken down? Does anybody remember that? And then Trump had to create Truth fucking Social. The future of your business? Trump had to create Truth Social. This is 2 years ago. 2 years ago, TikTok censorship, right? And they're going after it. And they went after Parler. And they, it's just fucking crazy. It's like we can't freaking, what is that? Is this the right history of it? Hang on. Here we go. We can't get a fucking break. I get Zuckerberg, because the thing about Zuckerberg is Meta of not doing enough to stop harm to children. So Meta needs to go. I understand the 3D thing, but there's some subliminal stuff that's not good. You could use Meta in so many different ways. Wait, I'm going to take that back. Meta doesn't need to go. right? I just think it's about the people. It's about the person. Now, I know families out there, and I'm going to tell you this right now. I know families, some close, that have their children staring at these screens all the time. When I was raising my boys, my daughters, well, let me go back a little further. When my mom was raising me, the only thing we had to entertain ourselves was these pegs game or the highway bingo, where you see things. Oh, I see a railroad track. Oh, that's a B something. Or you would read a book, or you would talk, or you just go la 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 la, whatever. Right? And then all of a sudden, the cell phones came out, and they had the monitors that you were able to get, and I had an 11.5-inch screen that you should drop down. We picked it up. I bought it for my 2005, 2006 Dodge Durango, 4 point. Had the Hemi in it. Thing used to do fucking wheelies. It was a fucking cool, badass little 4x4. But we installed the screen, and we would play on CDs, DVDs. I meant little DVDs. Movies, Disney movies, whatever movies, Barney, Blue's Clues, all kinds of shit, right? And they wanted to keep the kids like this instead of beating each other up. But if they could, they'd still beat each other up. But nowadays, I see kids they're constantly doing this the whole time with their pads. This is what they're doing nowadays. They're constantly doing this. They're just like this all day. It's just kind of wrong. And I get that. We need to, when I was younger, my kids were in the back, I used to entertain them. I used to be driving and I'd go, hey man, I got a cool song for you guys. They're going, no, don't sing another fucking song. They wouldn't say fucking, but they wanted to say it. And I'd keep my kids entertained in some way, shape, or form until they fucking fell asleep in the car on a long drive. That's the way it worked. But it's gotten different. Social media is interesting because it can be predatory. It can be divisional. It can be, it could target people or a demographic or an age group or a gender or all kinds of stuff. Yeah, Ventura wasn't a big cell phone guy, that's for sure. Going against TikTok is right out of a Nazi guidebook. Oh, totally. They disturbed. I'm missing some of that here. Let me get the rest of that. Going against TikTok is right out of Nazi guidebook. They just distributed radios to all German families that could not listen to station outside of Germany. So they gave them radios so that only their propaganda would get through to them. Right? Yeah. I think I've heard of that before. But this is the control of the government. This shouldn't happen. There's fucking other things they need to be concerned about. Now, if there's like child pornography and all kinds of things, if there's all kinds of things in there that needs to be watched and taken down, then put that on TikTok. Put that on them to put guidelines on that. But I wouldn't say completely take it fucking down. It's the amount of control that the U.S. wants to have on TikTok. That's the problem. They want absolute power. It's the government. I'm talking Rhipiglicans and Demoncrats on both sides of the aisle that want absolute control and power over all of social media. They just want it. They don't like what people are saying. They don't like people are doing. They don't like this. They don't like that. But guess what? Guess what, Ted Cruz? Guess what, Josh Hawley? Guess what, all of the Democratic Party and the Rhipiglicans? Guess what? The First Amendment is going to be applied, and we're going to make sure, because there's people out there that understand that. And I'm going to show you one right here. And Trump is against the ban on TikTok, by the way. Trump is against the ban on TikTok. This just came out like a day or two ago. Oh, there's fucking loser, whatever the fuck this person is.
There are probably TikTok apps on half the phones in this auditorium.
No, I'm going to speak to the fact that 2 people hit me and you didn't let me respond.
How do you get TikTok banned if you use it?
Well, I want to laugh at why Nikki Haley didn't answer your question, which is about looking at families in the eye. In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your
Exactly.
The next
Exactly.
generation of Americans are using it. And that's actually the point. You have her supporters propping her up. That's fine. Here's the truth.
You're just
the easy
scum.
answer is actually to say that we're just going to ban one app. We got to go further. We have to ban any U.S. company actually transferring U.S. data to the Chinese. So this is the problem when you have Republicans that temporarily go the way the winds blow, and now it's popular to talk tough on China. When she was UN ambassador, called them literally, her words, not mine, our great friend. You can't be fair weather fans of the right policy. Get to the root cause. Even U.S. companies in Silicon Valley are regularly doing it. Cut the virtue signaling.
You know, when he talks about me praising China, he doesn't know the fact that the reason China was praised was because I negotiated with China and Russia the largest set of sanctions against North Korea in a generation. That is literally the reason North Korea stopped testing ballistic missiles. So I said China did good on their part. That was a negotiation you could never do.
What you said, Nikki. Those are your words, not mine. And so just own up to it.
You would never
you can
have been
change
able
your
to
mind.
get
That's
that
allowed.
negotiation
But don't
done.
lie to the people about what you've said or what you've done in South Carolina.
My
You have brought
entire
them to South
career
Carolina.
at the
Ron is
United
right about
Nations.
that.
Every day I fought China, and I did it by making sure
hard
no
facts.
one
You
could
brought them to
get
this
any
country.
agency heads in UN. I did it by making sure that we called them out on human rights. I did it by making sure that we held them accountable on every. There's not been a day.
Afterwards.
This is a
Thanks
Nikki
for watching.
Haley show. So this is all Nikki Haley. So, but right now Vivek's not into it. Trump doesn't like it. I'm going to look for that, but let's get to the point here, okay? Snork was just saying, and I commend Snork for using technology to educate his students for his engineering class. When my TikTok has helped me work with students and a few fellow teachers with ADHD and Tourette's, etc., all kinds of stuff. I get it, right? Tourette's. When my cat died, I converted a kitten to become his best friend watching cat video on TikTok. Okay. that's cute. But the thing that I'm getting to, and I think everybody needs to pretty much kind of soak this in, is it's the government banning. Okay? I'm going to keep saying it. But let me explain. Here's what I think.
The U.S.
TikTok
government is threatening to ban TikTok, but if the ban goes ahead, the implications go far beyond just the one app. The bill being discussed, the Restrict Act, isn't just about TikTok. Journalists at Motherboard have described the language of the bill as insanely broad and suggested that if passed, it could impact the use of other social networks as well as VPNs. So is this about national security, or is it simply about crushing the competition?
I imagine most of you would like your networks to get 90 minutes a day from 100 million Americans.
It's important to know that banning TikTok might protect your data from being collected by the Chinese government, but it doesn't protect your data from being collected by Facebook, Instagram, or any other US-based service.
The United States is one of the only developed nations in the world that has no significant data or privacy protection laws on the books.
What it will do is take the idea of the internet as a tool of global connection and scrap it, erecting digital borders that may be hard to cross. The U.S. government is threatening to ban TikTok.
Yep, that's it. That's all it is. It's just control. They did it with Parler. Trump had to create True Social. It's just ridiculous, right? It's fucking ridiculous. When was this?
I am very humbly asking if you could
2 days ago.
chip in $5, $10, or even $25
I know that times could be tough, and they are tough under this horrible president that we have, crooked Joe Biden.
I'm
So
sending
if
money
you
to
can't
this guy.
contribute now, don't even think about it. Don't do it. You got to take care of your family and yourself. I want you to do that first. But with your donation
Right?
today, we will.
Well, who fucking says that? I say that. I say that. I said, don't send me money or help me with money unless you can't afford it. And I owe people money. I know that. But the thing is, that's what he's saying. And I never hear this from any other politician. I don't hear that from other politicians. Say, if you can't do it, don't do it. If you can, it'll help our campaign. That's it. Right? I love that. That's real. You know, these fucking Demoncrats thinks they're fucking assholes. What do we got here?
Congressional offices were flooded with phone calls Thursday from devastated teens who heard that lawmakers might be banning their beloved TikTok. The House Energy and Commerce Committee was set to vote on a bill that would force TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, which is based in China, to divest the app. If ByteDance and TikTok refused to decouple, they would face being banned in the U.S. TikTok responded by flooding American users with a pop-up message warning them that they could lose access to the app. The notification urged TikTokers to call their representatives and tell them to oppose the legislation.
Yeah.
Multiple House offices reported that they received thousands of calls on the issue. This included calls from kids and teens threatening to commit suicide or threatening to harm the people in the office if they could no longer use TikTok.
Despite the angry phone calls, the committee voted unanimously to advance the bill. Speaker Mike Johnson can now bring the legislation to the House floor for a vote, which seems likely. Johnson supports divesting TikTok from ByteDance, saying in a statement, it's an important bipartisan measure to take on China, which is our largest geopolitical foe and is actively undermining our economy and security. So obviously I love TikTok. And when I see this, I'm not surprised. We've seen in the Senate, the Kids Online Safety Act, or KOSA, also bans apps which have infinite scrolling features. They describe the functionality of TikTok and ban it. The bill is not a TikTok ban by name, but that's effectively what it would be. You know, we don't see that bill moving forward quite as quickly as this one, but it does seem that if it passes in the House, it would pass in the Senate. But I just don't think this is a policy that's popular. I think it's definitely not popular among young people. And it seems to me that it's a form of censorship to want to ban this app where 60% of the shareholders of ByteDance are not Chinese, to frame this as a way to, you know, weed out foreign interference in American society. It just seems pretty dishonest when that's true of the parent company. And also you have TikTok being a US-based company as well.
Here's a good point right here, and I think I still have it up. Let me just get to it real quick. And this is Debbie Manera. She's a friend, I believe, on Bernie was give me your last 20 so I can get it. Yeah, I remember, right? That's fucked up. I remember it, and I gave that guy about $300 fucking dollars. 170 like the first time, and I walked all over the place passing out his flyers like a fucking idiot. I got blisters. I went through Huntington Beach, a residential area, passing out Bernie Sanders flyers. It was fuck, what an idiot. God. But, you know, anyway. Ban TikTok. Could it be because Americans are getting raw, unfiltered news for the first time, about pretty much everything? Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what they're worried about. They're getting different opinions. They're getting rebuttals. They're getting debates. They're getting all kinds of information that's coming through, and they can't fucking keep up with it. That's the problem. Thank you, Debbie. Great work. That's it. That's the reason why they're coming after TikTok, is because they can't control the narrative. They can't control what's happening. They can't control. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. It just gets, in other words, it gets worse and worse and worse as far as them wanting to control everything. And this is turning into the 1984 Orwellian fucking Ministry of Truth again. And it's just, for fuck's sakes, Pete, don't you guys have like a border to seal? Maybe you need to stop a few wars. How about bringing down inflation? I'd like to get a fucking a steak for I'd like to get a non-lab grown steak at some point, right? And there's so much shit happening out there that they're fucking turning on TikTok because TikTok is exposing their fucking criminal, corrupt and extremely compromised positions. And I'm talking legislators, judiciaries, executives, department heads. They're all just fucking criminals right now. It's insane. That's the biggest reason why they're going after social media. Always social media. And social media can be just people putting in articles in a newspaper. Right? I would like to see, how about some fucking Medicare for all? How about we get rid of the Affordable Care Act bullshit and start getting, all this money going to Ukraine, Israel, whatever fucking war you want to do, you can't make my fucking insurance payment or directly pay a doctor for their services. You can't. You have to go through a third or fourth party. This whole Dr. Shiva explained the healthcare problem in regards to U.S. healthcare. You got to go watch it. It's the truth, and it's very well done. If you ask me, I'll send you the fucking link. But I've got it. I've kept it, and it's the best explained. It's just all these fucking second, third, fourth parties in between. Everybody getting a cut. They're putting out divisional crap. It's just all totally and completely a rigged system. Exactly what to go to Dr. Shiva and send me the link to. Okay, yeah. Dr. Shiva's he's a smart guy. He's not going to be president. I'm sorry to say, because for one, he wasn't born in the United States, and most of the people in this country want you born in the United States. Right? For two, he keeps beating up every party and every one of their candidates, making everybody seem stupid. Right? And yes, they are. And the people out there are dumb. Like I just explained, I was an idiot for Bernie Sanders. But his PR tactics are just a little, and I don't care. He can say whatever he wants. It's okay with me. But I know that there are people out there that get offended by fucking this most minute, smallest thing. Yeah, but what he needs to do is go to Mar-a-Lago and go talk to Trump and his crew, and find out what they're doing and where they're at. That's what he fucking needs to do, but he won't. Anyway, here's the biggest thing about this TikTok thing. I'm going to get off here. We, the planet, the world, we don't need this fucking Big Brother shit anymore. Remember the term Big Brother used to be around all the time? And they don't use it anymore, Big Brothers are used for like when you're in high school, when you're in middle school or elementary school. That's what your Big Brother's for. But once you're an adult, right, you don't have to give your kid a single shiny fucking little box with lights. You don't have to do it. There are parents out there that won't give their kids a fucking anything until they're 18. I swear, they're out there. I don't have a problem with that. Right? I think, and then there are moms that give their kids freaking, cell phones at the age of 4 or 5 years old. And I'm not big on giving a kid a fucking cell phone at the age of, under 10 or 11 years old. I don't think that's a great idea. But, things change, times have changed, I get it. But if you're going to give it to them, watch what they're fucking doing. Make sure the phone's restricted. Make sure only the people they're on to and where the places they go is just for certain things. That makes sense to me. That makes sense. If you're going to give a kid a fucking piece of technology that can dip into the dark web, then what you need to do is make sure there are fucking restrictions on there that you place for your child. That's it. If you want them staring at a screen for the rest of your life, that's up to you. That's your prerogative. You do what you want to fucking do, right? I'm not a big fan of it. But what I'm saying right now is this whole thing about taking down TikTok isn't about TikTok again. You just heard it. I showed you. It is about controlling speech. And that's coming from both sides of the aisle. The Demoncrats and the Rhipiglicans. Now, who wants that to happen the most? Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, the World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, BlackRock, right? I mean, I can go on and on and on, all these global predator class entities and shitfucks all day long. Those are the ones that don't want you to start sharing ideas and information, having disputes or debates, exchanging information, links, etc. They don't want that. Divide and conquer is their goal. And these fucking Congress fucks know that. They know all about that tactic. They see it happening all the time and they don't do shit about it. So I'm going to say it right here. If they're fucking with your social media, they're going after the people. 99.9% of the people out there. They're not. They can speak freely. Do you think they can do it? Look, if you're making over $100 million a year, or let's just say over $5 million a year, do you really give a fuck about TikTok? If you're making $5 million a year, do you really give a fuck about Facebook? Unless it's making you some money, right? Do you really give a fuck about YouTube? Do you really give a fuck about Instagram or True Social? I mean, if you're making $5 million a year, does it really matter to you? Right? So here's the thing with these legislators, judiciaries, executives, and department heads that want to take down the printing press of the 20 whatever century we're in. It's going by so fucking fast. It's 1984 Orwellian, and it's the Ministry of Truth, and it's like Snork said, right? Like Snork said, it's just like what they used to do. They used to give out radios in the local radio areas of Germany during the Third Reich. We're talking Nazi, etc. And they would just put out their information that they wanted you to hear. And they got everybody to believe in their system. This is happening now. So when I show you this picture, that's what the fuck is going on. They are all puppets of the World Economic Forum. That's it. I don't care. I would say at least 89 to 90% of them are all in with the fucking 2030 agenda. They're in with the World Health Organization. It's just a bunch of compromised fucking greedy pigs, right? Rhipiglicans and Demoncrats. Disgusting fucks. Anyway, me and my marriage and nephew are charged with Skinwalker Ranch. Wow. Favorite kids are dope. Yeah, they are. They're cool. Good kids. Radiation-wise, I'm against under the age of 12. Yeah, for sure. No. And the 5G shit. If you've been in front of a cell tower, okay, you will see that there are fucking dead birds in front of cell towers. Why? Because it's just anyway. I'm not going to get that far. All I'm saying is, if they vote this, then it's a pretty clear indication that we're fucked for the rest of our lives if we have any left. If we actually have a life left after 2024. I told you it's going to be a fucking rough ride. It's going to be a rough ride, and they're going to make it as rough as possible. And once they take down TikTok, social media, ban this, ban that, Ministry of Truth, they can do whatever they fucking want to everybody. And that's when it really gets bad. Because then we can't organize. We can't get together. We can't debate. We can't have conversations. We can't share information. That's their goal. It has nothing to do with the safety of anybody or the health of anybody. Right? Meta I'm a little worried about. Okay? Meta is doing some fucking weird shit with teenagers and kids. Which, Mark Zuckerberg's just a fucking weirdo anyway. Anyway, thank you for being on. This is Jimmy with Monotalk. Aloha. Yeah, fuck the TikTok ban. Fuck the TikTok ban. Aloha. Bye-bye.